Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, the 21st of November. Very active weather on this Thanksgiving week with two potential severe weather outbreaks between now and Monday of next week. A lot to talk about, so let's get in here and see if we can answer some of your questions. First off, it is a warm November day. We'll start things off with the Skycam network. That's the Demopolis Skycam. They're close to 80 down there. Wow. As we look right down the Tombigbee River, and love that low sun angle, just a great time of the year. That's the Trussville Skycam overlooking Chalkville Mountain Road. The sky's mostly cloudy there, and if you want some sunshine, go way down south. That is the Atmore Skycam. That's near the Florida border in Escambia County, and the sky is partially sunny, and they're sitting at 81 degrees at 2 o'clock. Well, there's the deal. We've got this shortwave trough over the southwestern states, a southwest flow aloft ahead of that. And you can see that clouds cover much of the southern states. And, of course, as the upper trough approaches, that will enhance the dynamic lift in support for storms here late tomorrow and tomorrow night. The surface boundary's not moved much at all. It's basically stopped as it's parallel to the upper air winds. And a wave is developing on the front around the Arklatex, and that will be moving northeast. But, of course, in advance of that, we are warm. Look at Montgomery at 82 at 2 o'clock. Break out the tank tops and the flip-flops. Birmingham at 74, Anniston 76, then 60s up to the north where the clouds are thicker over the Tennessee Valley. And around the nation, a very sharp gradient. That cold front you can pick out there from near Memphis down to about Shreveport, and behind it temperatures drop like a rock, and it's really cold up in western Canada. There's the radar at 219. Some pretty good rain falling over North Mississippi, north of US 82. And so far in Alabama, things are pretty quiet as expected. Up on the watch warning map, flash flood watch is up for areas north and west of the state, much of West Tennessee, the northern two-thirds of Arkansas, southern Missouri. Note that dense fog advisory, the counties in gray down to the south. Still some really dense sea fog sitting on the Alabama Gulf Coast, even here at midday. Okay, convective outlooks. This is for the rest of today and tonight. Got the standard slight risk over North Texas, South Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas. Basically from San Angelo to Little Rock. That does include Dallas-Fort Worth and Texarkana, Sherman, Denison, Wichita Falls, and Childress. And tomorrow, the risk expands east and now covers much of Alabama, almost all of Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, and the adjacent states. The higher probabilities are centered over northwest Alabama, north and central Mississippi, and middle Tennessee at 30%. And I still think the main threat's going to be from strong straight-line winds, but we might see an isolated tornado, kind of like the deal we had last Wednesday. And then day 3, which is Wednesday, low in 5% probabilities off to the east. There's the QPF chart. Rain for the next 5 days, valid through Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, and this is suggesting 1 to 1.5 inches over much of North Alabama. The bigger amounts on that slow-moving front north of here, from near Dallas-Fort Worth all the way to Boston, with 2 to 3.5 inches likely in through there, and big rains back in the Pacific Northwest as well. All right, model fans, let's take a look. This is the 12Z GFS at noon tomorrow. There's a shortwave energy approaching from the west. Down below that, a surface wave on the front is near the Ohio River, 1,012 millibars. Front trailing down through Arkansas and eastern Texas. And it sure looks like the models are beginning to converge on the better chance of any really organized convection tomorrow night. But again, out ahead of that, any storms that form, say, after 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon could maybe, produce an isolated tornado if they can get going. We'll go to the high-resolution RPM. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, local time. The front is still well to the west, as you can see, from Nashville down to about Monroe, Louisiana, and Houston. But notice those echoes you see are echoes, the possible precipitation on radar across the state. We'll have to watch those storms for signs of rotation. We'll go to midnight tomorrow night. And again, this is when everything seems to want to peak. Late tomorrow night. Got some potential for active convection here. And really, it's not a classic forced QLCS. It's more cellular even at midnight. And then Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock, the heavier storm is way off to the east, maybe some lingering rain. And then by noon, it's all over. Everything's out of here. Check the latest instability off the 12Z NAM, valid at midnight tomorrow night. Again, the instability values 1,000 to 1,500 joules. across a pretty good chunk of north and west Alabama. Helicity, kind of so-so. This is the 0 to 3 kilometer helicity in relation to storm motion. And that's not really overwhelming. That's why we think the main issue here be from strong straight line winds. And the EHI, no change there, running at about 1 to 1.2, which again is significant, but it's not, the screaming kind of numbers we had back during those big spring events. No doubt about that. So I would say the main window for severe weather probably 3 p.m. tomorrow until 3 a.m. Wednesday. And especially toward, late tomorrow night, 9, 10, 11, 12, midnight, something like that. All right, midday Wednesday, back to the GFS. Everything's out of here. Surface wave is up there near Long Island. And Wednesday, might be a day where the clearing process is relatively slow, but will be bold and daring and forecast gradual clearing. And the weather turns cooler on Wednesday as the high will drop into the 60s. Thanksgiving Day, beautiful Thanksgiving on Thursday. Sunny with upper 60s. We'll start the day around 40, just what you'd expect for this time of the year. Gorgeous. Black Friday, shopping fans. Who's going to be lining up there at midnight? Not me, but if you're going to be doing it, rain, not a problem. Looks like a partly to mostly sunny day Friday with a high upper 60s to near 70. But ooh, goodness. Look at Saturday. Wow. Full phase trough approaching from the west, and that's problems. This is noon Saturday, and again, everybody think football now. Got the Iron Bowl on Saturday, and there's the deal, the surface low near St. Louis with a trailing batch of convection. That could really hose up the Egg Bowl over in Mississippi. But if this is right, the better chance of severe weather for Alabama would be after the Iron Bowl is complete. But that is not carved in stone. I don't even want to think about being too specific until Wednesday. We got to get the system out of here tomorrow night. Then we focus on this. It could change. In fact, we'll go to midnight Saturday night, and there comes the line of storms on through. And look at the cold air coming in behind that. Wow. Woo, boy, that's a... and the big question, understand, the dynamics are tremendous here. The big question, the thermodynamics. Will the instability values be up there? The high on Saturday based on the GFS is only 70, not quite as warm as today, but with that kind of forcing, severe weather, no doubt will be an issue. And look at Sunday. Woo, boy. That thing just kind of cuts off into this big upper low, the core of that thing near Memphis. Storms off to the east at noon Sunday. And look at the 540 line moving in. That's suggesting a chance of snow down into Memphis. How about that to wrap up the Thanksgiving weekend? And maybe a snowflake over extreme North Alabama. Who knows? And let's go to Monday. I mean, that thing doesn't change much. The upper low drifts a little north, but the heights are still very low here, and that's got the 540 line down to Mobile in some lingering moisture, maybe a few flurries there Monday morning. So I don't think we see much sun at all Sunday, and even Monday could be cloudy and just cold. The highs would drop into the 40s on Monday if this is correct. The GFS is showing a high of 49, and Sunday looks pretty cold as well. I'm not so sure we get out of the 40s on Sunday. So, we'll be much more specific on the weekend event on Wednesday. Let's get this thing tomorrow night out of here. We'll check the end of the forecast on December 7th. Kind of a split flow, the big upper low west of the state. And wait a minute now. That looks kind of snowy there for Tulsa and Fort Smith and Fayetteville with rain moving in here. I guess it's that time of the year. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you live around here, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
Do you heed tornado warnings?
The National Weather Service has
Some people say the Weather Service cries wolf far too often.
You warn, and there's no tornadoes, then people become complacent.
Hear why complacency may have contributed to April 27th's high death toll, Monday at 10.